Hello, everyone, and welcome. Those of you that are new, my name is Dene. I'm a channel medium. For those of you returning, welcome back and thank you for your support. Those of you that have been with me for a while know how prominent I have had the new children coming forward lately. Well, basically the family unit. They've spoke about the inner child, healing that inner child, being able to create from that inner child, from that state of love, from that state of wonderment that we came here in, the energy that we came here in, that has been suppressed and oppressed, very similar to what the feminine energy was, and I'm not going to lie, the masculine energy too. They were all, okay, let me see if I can put this in a way that comes across in how spirit wants it to be. We must operate in a balance. And it is a trinity of balance, which is the feminine, the masculine, and the child, which is spoken about through many belief systems. And I'm not going to get into that. But it is spoken about within that. And the energy that I have been having brought to me lately has to do about how important it is for us to create within that pure heartedness of ourselves. And what is more pure hearted than the child? The innocent child, bringing us back to that purity of self. You know, we are taught that as we grow up that we are not to be silly. Oh, don't be silly. Don't be childish. Don't be this. Don't be that. But that child has that innocence within them. That child, when they are allowed to, speaks what they are feeling. And then it's done. They don't hold on to it. We are taught to hold on to it when we are not allowed to say how we feel, to express how we feel. We are not taught how to express ourselves in a mature way. And therefore, we remain, um, oh, Spirit, what is the words he used? Crippled. We are crippled in a form of being able to express ourselves in authenticity and truth because we have been taught that it is not okay to feel a certain way. Well, of course, it's okay to feel whatever way you feel. If you're feeling it, it is a valid feeling, it is an emotion. What has been lacking, and what Spirit is saying, what has been lacking is the ability to express it in a way that is compassionate and understanding so that you feel heard and it is not a defensive way. Okay? It is being able to stand up for yourself, but not in a controlling way, not in a defensive way. Okay? It's about being able to express yourself, say, this is how I feel, and somebody else not becoming very defensive because, oh, that's how you feel. Well, yeah, that's how I feel. And there's a lot of times we don't express ourselves because we're afraid of the reaction that we're going to have from someone else because that's how we feel. We may not stand up for ourselves. We may not say, you know, I don't feel that I have the freedom of speech that I would like to have to express what I feel, right? Because when you express that, there is a defensive response from the other person. When you are simply expressing your feelings, it is not saying that they are anything. It is simply saying, I am this. I am feeling this. And I simply want you to validate that that is how I am feeling. It is not a reflection on you. It is not a reflection of you. It is how I feel. And it is valid. And we are being asked to really learn how to do that within the truth of ourselves, because we have hidden ourselves away for so long in not allowing ourselves to be a certain way. And when we hide ourselves away, when we don't allow ourselves to express in truth, we also are suppressing our own creativity, because that is part of who we are. That is part of the creative process, is the expression of all aspects of the self. So we are being asked to learn how to express ourselves in a way that is productive and compassionate, to be childlike in our wonderment, to be childlike in knowing how we feel, but to learn how to express that in a mature way. So we are learning how to parent our inner child, which is something we were never taught growing up. And I don't say this to put any kind of feeling towards parents or anything like that. What I'm saying is that that is just the way it is. That is the way society is. Parents didn't do this on purpose. This is the way society told us we had to be. We were told that we had to hide within a certain way. You can't express yourself, right? You're not allowed to voice that. You're supposed to be, little soldiers just standing there when you're a certain age. Oh, you can't talk like that. That's only babies do that. Can't play with dolls because you're too old to do that. What? Who said? Right? There are so many rules that have been, and they're saying inflicted upon us, that have constricted our own creativeness. It has restricted our creative and personal development to where we have moved so far away from ourself and our own um, persona of who we truly are, that many of us don't know who the hell we are. When somebody asks what we want, we're like, I don't know what I want. I don't know, because I haven't experienced that. Nobody has taught me how it feels when I want something. Nobody has taught me how to follow my heart, because I was never given that choice. I was never given that opportunity to choose anything. I was never given two directions. I was only ever given one. So now, when we are given a choice suddenly and we're said, hey, we get to choose, we're like, how do I choose? I don't even know what the F I want. How do I choose what I want when I don't know? And there are many, many, and especially within this generation that I am in, that have no clue as to what they want, because they were never given a choice. Their choices were taken away from them, whether it be because of finances, whether it be because of gender, whatever the circumstance is, those choices were taken away. They were never given. There was never a choice. It was like, okay, you're a girl, you're doing this. Okay, you're a boy, you're doing this. It's the way it is. They never said, okay, you're a person. No. You're a girl, you get to do this. You're a boy, you get to do this. or you were born in this class of people, this is what you get to do. No, you don't get to go to college or university because you're not in that class. You don't get to do that. Sorry. We want to keep you right here, not making any choices, not trying to be who you truly are, not believing in yourself. But Spirit is saying that we are at a place where we are able to make those choices for ourselves now. We can choose. We can choose to believe in ourselves. We can choose whatever direction it is that we would like to take. So I hope you can't hear all this noise that's happening in the background here. There's a band playing down the street and somebody is pounding like crazy on top of a building. Like, talk about two conflicting energies that are coming in. I'm telling you. And maybe that's part of it as well, that the distractions and the confliction and all the different things that we are experiencing right now within our society. There is so much constriction. Look at that. I was going to say constriction and distractions is what they're saying, to where we are not able to be able to focus on what it is that we truly want. We are simply surviving. Right now, we are in survival. What do we need to do to survive? And that's kind of the mode that we're sitting in right now. Oh, just went down a little bit. That was nice. Um, so with all of this that's happening, and then we've got a gentleman shouting in the back, like it's almost like, you've got people shouting at you, telling you what to do, calling you, distracting you, trying to move you in a very specific direction. And Spirit is really asking you to take the time right now to figure out what you want. And this may be a really difficult thing for you to do because you've never had to make a choice. You've never had the opportunity to choose. So when you choose and you don't like what you choose, just know you can choose again. And that's something else that was taught to you, is that you don't get a choice. This is what you get. So whether you like it or not, that's it. But no, Spirit is saying, try some things until you figure out what you like. Choose to do things. Choose to do new things. Try new things. I never ever thought that I would paint. And I decided I would take a watercolor. It's a sip and paint kind of thing that I would go with some ladies so that I would get out of the house once a week here and make friends and get to know people when we moved to this area. And you know what? I absolutely love it. I never thought it would be something that I would do, but I love it and I'm pretty good at it. Um, I find that it's very fulfilling for me to paint, and I love it very much. And I never ever thought that that would be something that I would like. So what Spirit is saying is to take a chance on yourself. Try something. You can take, like for me, I could take a single class. I could have went once and said, okay, well, this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go once because, just a few dollars to go, right? And then decide, I don't like it, I'm not going back, right? You can have that choice. But I ended up liking it. And I totally look forward to going to that class every week to learn things. In fact, I like it so much. I have purchased my own paints and paper, and I began to paint at home as well as a meditation form for myself. So this is what Spirit is talking about, is about things that you have never had an opportunity to do. You've never had a choice. So how would you know? So you were just being called to just try different things, to try them and say, hey, well, let me try it. It sounds interesting. It doesn't matter if I'm good at it. Let me just try it and see, do I enjoy it? Did I have fun? Because that is what brings out the expression, learning how to express ourselves then, right? tapping into our feelings. How do we feel about this? Is this enjoyable, or is this something that's like, don't want to do that again? I'm glad I tried it, but I don't really want to do that again. That's how you know, is by trying things. So Spirit is encouraging you to try different things, to get out there and try things too, um, in order to learn what you want to create. Because what I'm getting with those of you that are listening to this is that you haven't had enough of a choice in your life to know what it is that you want. You've always just kind of went along because you didn't want to cause any waves to anybody else. You've put yourself last. And now when it comes to the point when you're asked, what do you want? You're like, I don't know. And I'm guilty of this to some degree too. My husband will ask me, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Right? I don't know. I really don't want to say what I want for dinner because maybe it's something he doesn't want or he doesn't like. Right? So that again is putting somebody else ahead of you saying, well, I guess I'm not good enough to have what I want. They're more important. Nobody is more important than anyone else. And only you know what you want. And only you can make that choice. Nobody else can tell you that. Well, they can tell you, but it doesn't mean they're right. Only you know that truth within you. So I don't know why this is not what I expected to come out in this reading, you guys, but this is what has come out. And I always have to honor the divine and what it is that they bring forward to me when they have me begin to bring information through. So right now you are being asked to try different things so that you can really figure out what it is that you want, what it is that brings you joy, what it is that puts you on that heart-centered path. What is your heart? Where is your heart? Where is it centered? You must figure that out before you can make a choice to go. And they're saying that's okay. It's a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you have to do this now." No, you don't. The divine has told me that as people move through and into their own choices, they will move. There is not a time's up scenario. Okay, you have the time to take a look, to figure out what you want and what you do not want. Okay? And what you do not want is just as important as what you do want because it will help you to make that choice. Okay, beautiful souls, that is it for me today, I guess. This is not the message I expected to come on and bring. I was expecting to bring a message from the golden children, the new children, um, and they're not even new, they're ancient. They're being reborn into an energy that they're able to exist in now upon the earth, and they're actually going to help us. Okay, I guess I am going into this. They're actually going to help us to maintain that level of frequency. They're going to help us maintain that level of frequency. So we have broke through into that energy now. We are at a tipping point of that energy, and there's some that are here. They told me already that there are some that are here. Like you could be one. That has come here, that is ancient, that is from that realm, and you have been through hell to get to where you are now. You know, from that race, from that realm, as in a channeling they brought to me a couple days ago. And okay, I'm gonna have to do a separate channeling on this because they're telling me it's gonna take a little bit of time for me to move through and do this. So if you're interested in that one, it will probably follow this one. So thank you for joining me today. As always, for supporting me. If you enjoy my videos, click that subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps me to be seen and for us to be able to attract our soul family so that we have um, more light within the tribe. So we have more energy within the tribe to be able to make more change, to bring more light to the world. So thank you for joining me here. And until next time, please remember to always Let love be your guide.